Hi everyone, this is William from the Headphone Experience, and I'm here tonight with a review of headphone ear pads. I've never done that before. So far just headphones, amps, things like that, and never done a review on just a set of ear pads. But Kennerton sent me the new ECL-02 ear pad and told me to give them a try, and these are made to fit either the Thror, any of the Odins, which includes the old MK2, the Thriddy, or the new version of the old Odin with the new headband. These are made by Kennerton Audio. They currently sell for $62 US. They're made of lambskin leather, and you can get them in either brown or black. They're 105 millimeters in diameter on the outside, and the inner diameter is 60 millimeters. I've got them on the new version of the Odin right now, and they basically look pretty much exactly the same as the stock ear pads. This would be the stock ear pad right here. Once again, lambskin leather. They're the same thickness. They feel the same. This foam feels the same. They have the same taper. Everything about this here would be the stock ear pad, and these would be the ECL-02s that are on the Odin. And I'll try to show you the difference here. The only difference that I'm aware of, and I don't know if you can see it here, is they both have perforations in them, and the original ear pads have quite a bit larger holes than the ECL-02s, and as far as I know, that's the only difference, but it does create quite a bit of difference in the sound. And as far as I can tell, that the difference is limited to the bass. And I would say I have now tried these on 3 different headphones, and all 3 had an increase in the mid-bass and sub-bass of, I would estimate, probably 3 to 5 decibels. So it's a pretty significant difference. And first of all, I wanted to talk about the Kennerton headphones, because there's quite a bit of difference from model to model and how much bass they do have. The most bassy, if that's even a word, bassy, but anyway, the most bassy of the Kennerton headphones would be the old Valley, and that would be followed by the new Valley, which has slightly less bass, and then the Odin, which is a little less than the new Valley, and then the least bassy of the Kennerton headphones would be the Thror, which I consider to be a dead-on neutral headphone. But I will admit, as much as I love the Thror, at times I would like for it to have a little bit more bass, especially if I'm listening to, say, rock or electronic dance music, that type of thing. I would prefer the Thror to have a little bit more bass, and most of the time if I'm listening to those types of music, I'll pull out the Valley instead. But then I do miss that huge three-dimensional soundstage of the Thror that no other headphone, in my opinion, can compete with that I've heard so far. But anyway, so I did get a chance to try these new ear pads on 3 of the Kennerton headphones, and I started with the Thror. And because these ear pads, maybe it's me, but they're a little bit difficult to change. I've had a little bit of trouble. I've gotten better at it now that I've done it 3 times. But basically, these ear pads, I can show you better with this is a stock ear pad. They have a little lip on the inside, and basically that has to be fed into a groove on the ear cup, and you know, it's a little bit, it takes some time. You got to kind of work it in there, and then, you know, kind of feed it in and get it all even and all that. And it takes me about 10 minutes to change a pair of ear pads. Well, I can't compare the sound to what I remember from 10 minutes ago. Excuse me. So what I did is I took the Thror with the stock ear pads and compared it to the Odin with the stock ear pads. and there was no doubt that the Odin had more bass than the Thror. So then I changed the Thror over to the ECL-02 ear pads, and then compared it back and forth directly to the Odin, both hooked up to similar sounding amps, both playing at the same time, and now the Thror had more bass than the Odin, so there was definitely an increase. Like I said, I'm guessing somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 decibels of bass increase, and yet it's very high quality bass, very tight, very solid, and they sound like they go lower to me now. So actually, I'm very impressed with the effect this ear pad had on the Thror. Makes it just about the perfect headphone in my opinion now. Like I said, the only flaw I ever heard with the Thror is at times I thought it lacked a little bass, and this just about makes it the perfect headphone in my opinion. Next, I tried it on the New Valley, and Kennerton's website doesn't actually list this ear pad for the New Valley, but the New Valleys do have a larger ear cup than the Old Valley, and these ear pads do fit perfectly on the New Valley, so I gave it a try. And what I did is I first compared the New Valley with the stock ear pads to the Old Valley, and the New Valley has slightly less bass than the Old Valley does. Well, I changed the ear pads over to the ECL-02s, and now the New Valley had more bass than the Old Valley. The only thing is in my opinion, with the New Valley and this ear pad, the bass got a little bit loose and slightly boomy, so I wasn't all that impressed. In fact, I just thought it was too much bass. I'm not really a bass head. Someone who is might really like it, but in my opinion, the New Valley with the ECL-02 ear pads has a little bit too much bass and sacrifices a little bit of tightness and solidness to the bass, so I can't really recommend it for the New Valley. Third, I tried the ECL-02 ear pads on the Odin, which you can see right here. I have them on. And like the Thror, I'm actually very impressed. I don't think it made as much of a difference on the Odin as it did on the Thror. I'm guessing maybe about a 3 decibel increase. And the way I determined that is I took the Odin with the stock ear pads and compared it to the New Valley with the stock ear pads. And the Odin had less bass than the New Valley. So then I changed the ear pads on the Odin over to the ECL-02s, and now it had about the same amount of bass as the New Valley, but in my opinion actually better, more solid, tighter bass. So I was really impressed by the bass response from the new Odin with these ear pads. So basically what it comes down to is these do make a significant difference, and like I said, the only difference in the ear pads that I can see is smaller perforations. They don't seem to change the mid-range or the treble in my opinion, but on the Thror and the Odin both, they make a substantial increase in the mid and sub bass, and the bass is tight, it's solid, and sounds great in my opinion. The New Valley, I can't really recommend it. I thought it gave them a little bit too much bass, and I thought it lost a little bit of the tightness and solidness. So I'm gonna give this a thumbs up for both the Odin and the Thror, but not so much the New Valley. Did want to mention that the Thror now comes with 2 pairs of ear pads. It comes with the original ear pads that they always came with, and they also come with the ECL-02, which they claim makes the Thror sound a lot like the original Odin MK2, and bass-wise I would say yes. I still think the Thror has a slightly larger, more three-dimensional, I would say slightly deeper more three-dimensional soundstage than the Odin, but they're very close. And the more time I spend with the Odin, the more I like it. It's a really good headphone, and you know, pretty good price in my opinion. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna recommend these for the Thror and the Odin, but not so much for the Valley. And the Thror does come with 2 sets of ear pads now, so you can listen to it either way. So I'm gonna wrap this up. And oh, I did want to mention Kennerton's website does say that these can be used on several other types of headphones, including Hi-Fi Man. So I'm gonna take a look and see if there's a way to put these on the I've got the old HE500 and the HE560, so I'm gonna take a look and see if these could be, how easy it would be to adapt these to those. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. Once again, this is William from the Headphone Experience. If this video helped you, please give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you are all welcome to join us over at the Headphone Experience on Facebook. Thank you.